you mentioned how quickly you can see a change. Very quickly, Fabien, what is the small effort with the big difference that you were alluding to?
Well, so it's another great question. Essentially, I've come up against a lot of people who don't even know about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, who don't know that we dump over 1 million tons of plastic in our ocean every year, that we don't, that we've pretty much clear cut the entire ocean as far as overfishing. That we're facing some monumental challenges with climate change that stems from the warming of our ocean world because of man-made gases and so on and so forth. And all these have repercussions that stem from what's happening in the ocean on land here where we live as a species.
Right. But maybe I want to know, I want to really boil it down to, if I lift up my cup, this is what changes. Like, really give me something accessible.
It's very simple. Each and every one of us is part of the problem. Each and every one of us is part of the solution. So every little step that you take to eliminate single-use plastics in your life, every single little step that you take to carpool, to use reusable containers, to get away from eating the lions and tigers of the sea, and of course of land, the more we stand to gain. And those little steps in our everyday lives.
So if I don't use a single-use plastic, what does that mean for the ocean? Give me, it saves one fish. Like, give me that very simple, accessible understanding. If I don't use a single-use plastic, what does that mean for the ocean?
Oh, it's very simple. It's one less piece of plastic in the ocean, or 10 less pieces of plastic. We just had a beach cleanup this past weekend with the Ocean Learning Center. We picked up 185 pounds of trash, mostly small things, bottle caps, cigarettes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
The more we can eliminate that in our daily lives, the better off the oceans are, the better off we are.
All right, Kees, I'm going to ask you that same thing. You mentioned 70 billion. What if we eat one less fish, what that means for our climate. But first, I'm going to go to Catie. Catie, so I teased those folks that are here with us that you're an e-driver with Andretti. First of all, tell me what you do.
Yeah, so first of all, it's really interesting hearing from these guys. I'm not from a science background at all. I'm a rally driver. So I found myself racing in an electric championship this year, which I've become really passionate about. And I have been since I first heard the idea. Basically, Extreme is an off-road electric motorsport championship, which is racing in the most remote locations in the world. So, for example, we just came back from racing in Greenland. On the calendar, we had the Amazon rainforest. We had the Saudi Arabian desert. We've been racing in a lot of extreme environments. Each one is facing a particular climate emergency and a climate issue. And the whole purpose of our championship is to raise awareness for these issues. And so there's legacy programs that are happening in each location. We've got a team of scientists, so it's led by Professor Carlos Duarte. And he is specializing really in the marine impact and the issues that we've had from that side. So he joined us in Saudi Arabia first off, where we were running a legacy program that was looking at the sea turtle populations in the Red Sea. And actually, he was explaining this 5-year legacy program they have there of beach cleanups and also providing infrastructure to really protect the kind of nesting zones of these turtles, so that apparently if we can keep this beach a safe place for these turtles to lay their eggs, it will actually regenerate all of the sea turtles in the Indian Ocean. That population is strong enough. It's a really popular beach for that. So it's been really interesting from my side to be able to share on my platform as well. I know a lot of the other drivers in the championship are in the similar boat. We've got Nico Rosberg. Nico Rosberg's got teams. Lewis Hamilton's got teams. Jenson Button's got teams, so some names from Formula One. Also from the rally world, we've got Sebastian Loeb and Carlos Sainz, and a lot of other rallycross drivers as well. So everybody's got a diverse background, but the mission behind it is that sport reaches a big audience, and we as drivers have a responsibility in our championship to raise awareness for the issues that we're facing, provide solutions, and kind of just educate people around us that are following the sport. They get the racing, they get that adrenaline fix, but they also then understand a bit more about the climate issues that we're facing. And also at the end of the year, we then have a leaderboard, which is everyone can be involved in. It's called Count Us In. So it's a challenge where people can go online and they can pledge what they've done. If that means they're driving an electric vehicle, if that means they're eating less meat or using a reusable or renewable energy source in their for their electricity in their houses, they can pledge it online. And they can pledge their points to their favorite team in the championship. So there'll be a racing leaderboard at the end of the year, but also there'll be a climate impact leaderboard. So yeah, it's a kind of a new era of motorsport that's coming through. So that's a bit on what we're doing this year.
You call it E1 driving? Is it the E1 circuit as opposed to the F1 circuit?
It's not. E1's a different series. That's actually coming in 2023. So that's powerboat racing, which is exactly the same. So it's the same founders. So they're racing exactly the same kind of message. There's legacy programs around that, but ours is actually called Extreme E. So this is, as the name is in the title, it is really extreme. So we were racing just below where the ice cap was in Greenland, and we were actually one of the legacy programs. We were out there a few days early, and we were taking samples of basically on the ice cap. There's black dots everywhere now, and the scientists were examining them in labs, but they think it's actually carbon that's blown across from the wildfires in North America. So obviously we can see the impact that that's going to have, because obviously the black ice now is attracting and absorbing more of the solar radiation, which means it's heating up faster and then melting faster. So that speaks for itself in terms of, rising sea levels and the issues that they face from that front. So it's been really interesting from that side, and obviously getting to race in these locations is fantastic as well. We're obviously leaving no trace behind us, to the point where we're even all taking our own knives and forks and plates and cups and everything with us to the race locations. So it's race without a trace, and obviously the positive legacies are left behind to outweigh us visiting these remote locations.
Well, very quickly, because, here in the States, and I sit here as the sun is at high noon here, well, a little bit after high noon, upon us. And for you, where do you sit when you do these races here? Do you sit in the seat that you're sitting in right now? And do you use a wheel? You have some sort of digital wheel here, Catie?
Oh, no, so these races are in real life. Yeah. It's not simulator racing. No. We're real life racing. So we actually just got back from so the way that the championship runs is we have a big ship that's transporting everything around the world. So the cars, the hospitality, everything that we need, so that we're not flying it around the world, because obviously it works. We're running off renewable fuels, and we're also and when we get to these locations, we race for real against. I think there's 12. I think the maximum is 12 other teams in the series. So yeah, it's real life racing. It's like Formula One, but obviously we're racing in off-road environments.
All right, sorry, I am nerding out here, Kees, but I had to nerd out. I apologize to all y'all that are out there, but I had to nerd out. I'm a car guy.
We're not taking virtual samples of the ice cap.
Yeah, no, it's great, because being a California, I was born in California. We love cars. I did it my whole life, so we didn't have e-cars at the time. Hey, Kees, I was teasing to the audience here, those who are joining us. What does one less animal eaten mean to the environment? What's that equation?
Yeah, the equation is on chicken is that it is a plant-based chicken versus a animal-based chicken is 7 times less carbon. It is 5 times less water, and it is 3 times less land use. And so that is what you get. The good thing is that, we have a huge problem, but also a very clear solution. The huge problem is actually the negative impact of the animals in terms of greenhouse gases. And the positive is that plant-based actually is what we call carbon positive farming. And actually you have that both on the land and in the sea. What we do, for example, is not only on organic soy, but also if you take yellow peas and you plant yellow peas, what it gets is the nutrients are getting actually through the plant into the soil. And so it is a regenerative part of the soil. And you can do the same in the ocean, and then you do that with seaweed. And so that is together with bamboo, the fastest growing plant in the world. And so again, when you cut it, it actually, with the tide coming in and out, you get the nutrients going into the ocean. And so what you get is you take the negative out, i.e. eating the animal, and you get the positive in, i.e. regeneration of the soil and of the ocean. And so that is basically what we call the double pivot in terms of the benefit. So the simple answer to your question, actually to Fabien, is what is the single one thing to change? Is change from an animal to a plant-based, 7 times less carbon, 5 times less water use, 3 times less in land use. And that is only for every chicken you actually change into a plant-based chicken.
And seaweed is doggone tasty, is what I've said.
I will tell you, we launched a brand called the Dutch Wheat Burger. Now, you can't get it obviously more iconic than that. And so you get the protein from the seaweed, and then you combine that with a bit of organic soy, and then you make your wheat burger. And so that is indeed, as you say, is absolutely high in protein, high in fibers, and what it is, it's absolutely really tasty.
That's right.
That's where the food technology really kicks in, and this is the time where everybody starts to tap into it.
The Dutch burger, not to be confused with sharing the check at your local burger place, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
That's right, not to be confused with that.